Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Trapsikis. We're looking at one of my clanmates again today, Tracer Steel, playing in the T-54 Lightweight, the light tank that everyone knows is not really a light tank. The heaviest light tank in the game with some serious armor. If you look at the turret, you'll see frontal armor of 180, sides 120 and rear 60, hull armor 80 front, 60 sides and 45 in the rear. However, with a very low profile and well-sloped angle, you get effective armor quite a lot higher than the nominal values. Okay, so as you'll see in the chat, he mentions to his team that he plans to do something stupid, but he proceeds to do it very well. You'll see he uses the bushes to advance quite far before getting spotted himself, and using the mobility of this tank, he doesn't travel in straight lines, so most of the shots shot at him actually miss. And in the first minute, you'll see he's already over 2,000 spotting damage. So making good contribution to his team, and yes, he's lost just over 500 hit points, but this may yet be worth it. You'll see throughout this replay, Tracer Steel makes very good use of the low profile of this tank, as well as the terrain. So he uses the slight rises in the terrain to make sure that it's not available to be shot at to the enemies for any extended amount of time. And there, a shot from the Löwe bounced, just showing you how good the armor on this so-called light tank really is. Now, in the second minute, total spotting damage nearly 4,000. Damage blocked only the 320 from the Löwe. And you'll notice that Tracer does a very good job at communicating with his team. So, obviously thanking them for making use of his spotting, which, I mean, they're not on any kind of obligation to shoot the targets he spots, but I mean, it's in everyone's advantage, so it's a good idea to do it. And now he mentions to them he's going south again, and he sees that the guerrilla is pointing in the exact wrong direction, away from the enemies, so he pings him to ask, follow me, obviously not meaning scout with me, just meaning to pay attention to where I'm going so that you can get some spotting damage. Alright, so now he approaches a bit further, because he hasn't been spotted yet. He does have sixth sense, and he hasn't spotted anyone yet. So, and here he makes a very good move. Just in case he was spotted, he stops behind the building so that he doesn't allow a shot for the J-Panther 2. Now he requests fire at the Löwe, and he uses the bushes, backs up until they are not transparent anymore, so that he can shoot without being spotted by the Löwe. Even though he is at quite a long range, it is possible the Löwe has a good crew. Obviously trying to take shots at the pattern, but at this distance it's very difficult to predict correctly where your enemy is going. Another good shot on the Löwe. And fortunately that one kills him. Okay, attention back to the pattern. Critical hit, but not quite good enough to track him in place. And now he's not spotted for a few seconds. So this demonstrates why the pattern is such a nice tank to have, because of the small size compared to other tier 8 mediums. It's quite difficult to hit the pattern at a long range. However, now that he's tracked, it's not that difficult, but unfortunately Tracer only manages to damage without taking off another track. That shell flying just over the enemy, so unfortunately no damage for Tracer there. So he turns his attention back to the base and finds a lonely Type 4 Heavy hiding behind the buildings behind the cap circle, so very difficult to get at him. But he will provide vision to his team if Tracer decides to move out. So he does limit the options that Tracer has available to him. Now this game is very even so far, 4 versus 3. But if you look at the minimap, Tracer's team has managed to claim a much larger percentage of the map, let me enlarge that for you, than the red team, which is a two-edged sword. On the one hand, it's good to provide vision to other teammates who may still be able to shoot without being spotted. On the other hand, you never want to find yourself alone in this game. And then finally a shot goes into the pattern, and someone else secures the kill. So Tracer, obviously not wanting to be caught out in the open to spot the J-Panther, moving towards the river here so that he can use the depressions in the terrain and hide from shots from the enemy. As you'll see, the J-Panther 2 swings and misses, and then he spots the MX-5100 with that autoloader. Still raking in the spotting damage, but at this point he's safe, relatively safe from fire from the enemies, since there were no artillery, so no one should be able to hit him. Now he takes shots on the move at the 5100, knowing full well that most of them will miss, but if you secure a shot now and then, it's worth it. Pinging his allies to attack the J-Panther 2, which is one of the more dangerous guns, and friendly Ravioli takes him out. Unfortunately, the Tracer takes a shot from the enemy T-25 pilot. So he knows he's spotted, but he doesn't know from where. And again, he uses the terrain to refuse the enemy a line to shoot at him. Things looking much better for the team now. 8 versus 5. 9 versus 5. And the enemy cap circle being surrounded by 3 of Tracer Steel's allies, with only the Type 4 Heavy nearby, and 1 tank hiding in the bushes. Right, so Tracer finally manages to put a shot into the T-25 pilot. However, the T-25 returns fire, and Tracer is now in the range of a one-shot for the T-25 pilot, so he has to play it safe not to be taken out. So you'll see once again he uses the terrain to keep himself safe from fire, and then when reloaded he uses double bushing and takes out the T-25 without being spotted in the process. So now I can turn his attention back to the AMX that was spotted here earlier, which is now the last remaining enemy team. And obviously he's still enjoying some support from his team, but unfortunately he pulls the trigger just to hit the rock, so that one goes way off the mark, and the M401 secures the kill for the team. Very nicely done. Now let's have a look at the post-game stats. Obviously an ace tanker. If you're interested in reading Tracer's own description of the replay, I'll post a link for you. Level 6 spotter, bruiser, fire for effect, scout, and patrol duty. If you have a look at the team details, obviously he was number 1 on experience, not number 1 on damage, but he did nearly secure 3000, which is very impressive for a light tank. And then personal details, 23 shots fired, but as you've noticed probably that quite a lot of those shots were fired on the move, so it's not surprising that only 15 hit. But of the 15 that hit, 13 penetrated, which is quite a nice percentage. And assistance damage to the total of 6,880. And if you notice that he spotted 14 of the 50 enemy tanks, which is quite impressive. And even though it was a tier 9 battle, he managed to rake in a tidy profit of 53,000, partly thanks to his premium account, and a very tidy profit with his personal reserves with regards to experience of nearly 4,000. Very well done, Tracer, and thank you for watching.